What to do, YouTube? It is about to be that time of year again. Obviously, the NFL season was a little bit in jeopardy due to COVID-19, but it's looking like we are going to actually have an NFL season. Now, with that being said, with the small amount of viewers that we have on this channel that know some folks that may have be complaining about the fact that we possibly may not be playing games with fans in the stands, just be happy that we actually have an actual NFL football season. I'm cool with going home and watching football games as usual, without actually me having to go get my season tickets or anything. Hey, at the end of the day, we want us all to be safe and we want the players to be safe, because the second that a player ends up getting COVID-19, I strongly believe the season is going to be over. They're going to shut the season down. So with that being said, let's just all be grateful of the fact that we are actually going to have an NFL 2020 season this year. I'm extremely excited. We'll be like 8 days away from training camp. I will try to hold off on this as long as possible until we got a little bit closer to training camp. So we're going to be on a serious grind over the next 8 days as far as dropping these training camp battle videos. But as you saw in the title, that we're going to start with the offensive line. Me personally, that's probably the most exciting one. I know a lot of others are probably going to be looking towards the quarterback position, but to be honest with you, the most exciting position battle going into the 2020 season is the offensive line. And it continues to be a huge question mark ever since I started on YouTube doing Miami Dolphins videos, to be quite honest with you. But let's go ahead and kick it off. We got Julianne Davenport at the left tackle position in general. We ended up trading for Julianne Davenport last year. Remember that blockbuster trade that we ended up sending Laremy Tunsil to the Houston Texans, and we got in return Julianne Davenport, a corner, Jonathan Badamosi. I can't pronounce that. And we got 2 first-round picks, the 2020 first-round pick, and we got the 2021 first-round pick from the Houston Texans. Austin Jackson, excuse me. We got him in the first round, 18th overall from USC. Eric Flowers, we ended up signing him in the 2020 free agency with 3 years, $30 million deal, $19 million guaranteed. For your information, Ted Karras, we signed him in free agency too. It was a 1-year deal for $4 million. Michael Dieter, we drafted him in the 2019 NFL draft, in the third round, 78th overall. Jesse Davis, undrafted free agent, but last year he ended up getting a contract extension before the 2019 season started. That was a 3-year, $15 million deal. Robert Hunt, my personal favorite in the 2020 NFL draft. We ended up getting him in the second round, 39th overall. And just to cover the bases here, we have some other guys here. Solomon Kinley, we ended up drafting him in the 2020 draft. Shaq Calhoun, we traded him from the Minnesota Vikings last year before the season started. Jonathan Hubbard, Danny Isidora, Nick Kaltmayer, Adam Pankey, Donnell Stanley. To be honest with you, these guys, again, I really don't think they're going to get any type of I don't really think they're going to shock me in training camp, to be quite honest with you. Possibly Solomon Kinley, though. But personally, last year, the way Julianne Davenport played, he shows signs that he could be a starting tackle. But to be honest with you, with the amount of depth that we have on this roster right now, it's going to be extremely interesting. Again, Austin Jackson we drafted Austin Jackson in the 2020 draft at 18th overall. I have my doubts about him. Scouts have said that he's not exactly NFL ready to be a starting left tackle. And that's a huge concern for me, because if you look at it for real, if Austin Jackson ain't ready, we really do not have that much depth sitting there in the first place outside of Julianne Davenport. But you already heard how I felt about Julianne Davenport. Then we had Ted Karras. Last year ended up playing with Tom Brady. I don't really look too deep into that because of the fact that he played with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady likes to get the ball out fairly quick. I believe it's like under 2.5 seconds if possible. So really, you're not going to generate that much pressure on Tom Brady if he's getting the ball out quick like that. Michael Dieter, it's going to be extremely hard for me to find a fit from Michael Dieter. I understand Michael Dieter last year played the majority of the snaps on the offensive line, but due to the guys that we bought in, because really I only see him playing left guard, center, and right guard. I know that whole center idea has quenched everybody's thirst over the last couple of weeks. I believe I ended up doing it in that connected franchise a couple months back, probably around when COVID-19 first started. I got to go back and look at it again, but I made that a little bit of an experiment. I liked how that looked because, to be honest with you, I like Michael Dieter. He showed some promise last year, even though it got thrown into the fire. Jesse Davis, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw out an apology. Jesse Davis, because I watched a lot of tape on Jesse Davis over the last couple of weeks, and I think he's not as bad as I possibly have made it seem. He shows some promise, all right? He shows some promise, but I think I prefer him to be at the right tackle position. And then we just go ahead and just roll Robert Hunt, our second round pick in the 2020 draft, at guard, because scouts have said he has the opportunity, he has the talent to be a Pro Bowl caliber guard. And that's just stuck with me. Like, you probably heard me say that almost every single time we end up talking about Robert Hunt. Has the potential to be a Pro Bowl guard. That cannot be ignored. I would hate for us to put him at tackle and he ends up struggling at tackle, and then he ends up somehow finding his way outside the starting lineup, and then we end up being screwed. Now, thinking about it, let me just play devil's advocate here as far as how I think that the offensive line is going to go. Personally, again, I'm on the fence about Eric Flowers. Honestly, I really do not think that Austin Jackson is going to end up starting the season as the starter for the Miami Dolphins at the left tackle position. So it's going to end up coming down to Julianne Davenport. And don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if Eric Flowers gets some play over at the left tackle position. Do not be surprised. And I'm pretty sure that a majority of y'all be like, come on, Great, you lost your damn mind by sitting back and actually going to say that. But to be honest with you, I do not be surprised if you see Eric Flowers sitting at the left tackle position. But if I was to just go off of it from right now, I'm just going to go ahead and throw Julianne Davenport in at the left tackle position. And then some point in time, Austin Jackson is going to get inserted into the starting lineup if Julianne Davenport doesn't show any signs of consistency where he can actually be a starting tackle. But Eric Flowers, I'm going to go ahead and just leave him at the left guard position. And then I like Michael Dieter at center. At some point, I really do not want to see Michael Dieter hit the bench. I really don't. And looking at Ted Karras' contract as a 1-year, $4 million deal, that's basically chump change to me. So basically, you're not really losing nothing if you decide to put Ted Karras on the bench. So I'm going to go ahead and insert Michael Dieter at the center position. And then, of course, I'm going to end up having Robert Hunt sit at the right guard position. I think that's going to be a perfect fit. I don't think nobody's going to be able to take that away from him. And then, obviously, Jesse Davis, I'm going to end up leaving him at the right tackle position again for another season until we end up finding a solution. Or possibly, he may end up being a good fit there. Now, obviously, we're about to roll into training camp. I know we had the conversation about Jason Peters. That's another reason why I wanted to hold off on this video. We had the conversation about Larry Warford, the ex-New Orleans Saint, the guard. Honestly, I'm having second thoughts about that, even though Jason Peters ended up getting signed back to the Philadelphia Eagles. But Larry Warford is still out there in free agency. Honestly, I just feel like we have a lot of young talent, players. I don't want to say all of them are talented. We have a lot of young players on the Miami Dolphins offensive line right now. I just feel like you might as well you got to throw them into the fire. Give them the experience that they need so we can end up finding what we have within them, and then at the end of the season, we're just going to have an evaluation about it, and then we're just going to move forward accordingly. Basically just how it is. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoy the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is GreatOne DeVore. I'm up out of here.